I'm your host, Madrina, and welcome to Rolling with Madrina. I'm a community service organizer, motivational speaker, and an advocate for the people. I am living proof that your struggle can be your story and your trauma can be your triumph. I've dedicated my life to giving back, and I want you to roll with me while I speak with those in our community who are doing what they do best. Now watch and listen for what you can do to join their cause. Aloha, I am Madrina, your host of Rolling with Madrina here in Blab TV. Thank you for tuning in every week as I share with you light bringers and do-gooders in our community who are making a difference, and I found another one. Just such is the case with Tara Lewis, my sister in the community. She is the founder and executive director of Thru Trauma To Triumph. I also know her from Impact 100, and then just all around through the community. When you're rolling through the community like I do, you run into some of the same people over and over, and I always see my beautiful sister Tara out there doing what she does, and I've invited her here tonight to share with you all about her organization. It was founded in 2020. It is transitioning through trauma to triumph. We'll get her phone number and email and website up on the screen for you. But I thought I'd actually read her mission because it's so poignant. It said, our mission is to provide unwavering support and resources to families who have bravely left or survived domestic violence relationships, helping them transition to triumphant new chapters as single family homes. Tara, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So excited to have you here. You look beautiful.
Thank you. Likewise.
It's that spirit in you that's just glowing out.
Yes. Thank you.
Walking in your purpose, aren't you, sis?
I am.
And when you do, doesn't it just make you feel good?
It does. And I think we're all supposed to do it.
It's just your light shining from outside of you that's making you so radiant. But tell us a little bit about your organization and how it came to be.
It came about, I was in a domestic violence relationship for 10 years. I've been out of it roughly about 11 years. And I formed it, long story short, to be that woman that I needed at that time, to be that support for someone else at that time, that woman that I needed then, that woman that I need today, and that woman that I'll need tomorrow.
Right.
And support is a big thing. And I'll be the first to say, before I got in that relationship, and it's the only one I've ever been in, but many women have been in many of them. That's the only one I've ever been in. And before it, I was very judgmental on women who were in it. Oh, you shouldn't do that. It's easy, just leave. And if you haven't been in it, you don't understand that it's more peaceful to stay than it is to leave. So I didn't see that side of my abuser until about 1.5 years in. And by then I was a single mom, had kids, and one of my children, who has since passed, he passed away from a brain tumor, had kind of grown to, just be around my abuser and stuff, and we were in this relationship. So it was easier, as crazy as it sounds, it was easier to stay and keep the peace than it was to leave. And it took my son that passed, when he passed in July of 2012, and in November of 2012, I just woke up and said, this isn't it. I have to go. I have to do better for me and my, kids that are still here, and I left.
Well, what a load. A son that was ill and died while in a domestic violence relationship. Can I ask you, did you come from a violent background as a child?
No, I didn't. But I didn't have a mother. She left at 3 years old. So I didn't have a mother. Being a parent now, in retrospect, I look back and I'm not as hard on my dad as I used to be before I had kids. And I think he did the best he could, but he never taught me as a woman my value as a woman to say, hey, this is what you're supposed to put up with. This is how a man is supposed to treat you. So I never got it on either end from my mom or my dad. So it was a kind of fend for yourself, survival mode type of life. But I'd never seen it.
And I asked that because,
up.
Usually if you grow up in violence, or if your parents were violent with each other, then sometimes we mimic our childhood and we go into our adult life and we bring these things with us. But as I'm thinking now and speaking, that's not always a precursor. You have people that come from no abuse in a background and can end up in a domestic violence relationship, correct?
Correct. And I think mine was a survival mode thing because, again, I didn't have a mom, so I had my first son at 16 years old. So it was, okay, you meet a man, he looks nice, he acts nice, he's well-to-do. Oh, okay, this is what, this is what I need to do to provide for me and my kids. Did I love my abuser? Yeah, I did, as crazy as it sounds. But it was more of a survival mode of, hey, I don't want to struggle and I don't want my kids to struggle like I did growing up, not realizing that keeping them in that situation was just as much as a struggle mentally. Correct.
Right. And that's what happens so many times. Women are stuck because they need the finances.
Right.
And a lot of times I think they don't know their self-worth.
Right.
And so that's probably the root of it.
Right.
Would you agree?
I do. And the crazy thing is I always knew my self-worth. That relationship, it didn't break me mentally like it does a lot of people. It broke me. It just kind of broke me down because it wears you down. It's very tiring.
It's exhausting.
To be with a narcissistic, abusive person. But it didn't break my confidence down. And so many ladies stay because of that. So many ladies stay because of children. So many ladies stay because of finances. So there are different reasons. So for me, it was the financial security and love, sadly, and just that, hey, my kids do have this person in their life. So it was a lot of reasons, but it was, in retrospect, it might have been me not knowing my worth at that time because looking back, I could have done things different to survive financially as opposed to just being in that. So
So you woke up one day and you said, this is not for me.
Right.
I have had enough. You were sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yes.
And so what was your first move?
I left and went back to my house. And that's the thing. I never let my house go. I never let my job go. So I was very independent in the relationship still. But it was just to go back home and find out who I was because, again, I didn't have a mom. I had a child at 16. So from 16 until 30-something, when I left that relationship, I was always something else to somebody else. A mom, an employee, a girlfriend. Just so it was to go back to my house and sit down and say, hey, who are you?
Who am I?
How did you get here?
Right.
Yes. And to just work on myself. And I didn't get in a relationship for about 8 years. It was very hard.
Yeah, that's very hard.
But it was needed.
Yeah. And so you had how many surviving children? 2?
3.
You had 4 total?
I had 4 total.
And 1 passed?
And 1 passed.
Oh, wow.
So I have a 30-year-old son, a 22-year-old daughter, and a 17-year-old son.
And so you were working, or what made you feel brave enough to play? What made you say, I'm going, I can get out of here now?
It was my son that passed.
Yeah.
Before he passed, we went out to eat, which was probably his last outing. And, he just said, hey, Mom, you deserve better. You should leave.
What did that feel like when you heard that?
Just hurt. Like I disappointed them. But it was just a wake-up call to say, hey, you can't do this for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Because you have a daughter watching and you have sons watching. And I would always tell my kids, don't put up with this. To my daughter and my sons, don't be this. But then at the same time,
and they would know it, but then your words would be different than your actions.
Right.
And did that work out?
The leaving?
I mean, do the kids not process the abuse just because you say don't
Oh, no, they
tolerate
processed it still.
Yeah.
Because they went to counseling. We all went to counseling. So, it's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to have to walk it, which is why I formed this, because I have a for-profit credit repair business. And so that's how a lot of the community knows me before my nonprofit. And I was always vocal about my domestic violence relationship on social media because real isn't perfect, perfect isn't real. And I relate to transparency. So I was just always transparent about it, not knowing I was setting the tone for a nonprofit. And having my for-profit credit business, so many ladies reached out and they were just like, thank you for being strong. So I brought it out publicly in 2022. It had been on paper since 2020, but because we co-parented.
Was it hard for you to share your story?
I've always been transparent.
Is he here locally? Still.
We co-parent. Yeah.
Oh.
And I put it on paper on 2020, but I didn't bring it out until 2022 because it's not a smear campaign against him.
Of course.
Because he's a hands-on father, good father, can't take that from him. But I sat on it for a while until my kids got older, and then I just had to explain to them, hey, this is my purpose. Because I walked it, and I want to take some positive out of the negative
Right.
and do something for somebody else that I wish somebody would have done for me.
And does he have an opinion on
Yeah.
what you're doing now?
He's not pleased at all, but hey.
But it's your story to tell.
That and
he
if
can't
you're
control-
upset about it, kind of question yourself as to why a whole nonprofit is a movement behind you, is all I can say
Right.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that? And so then you started that, and now your mission has been to reach out and provide resources to those who have been in similar circumstances.
Right. And or because we do, try to partner with Favor House a lot, our biggest thing is preventative, to catch young ladies before they even get that far. Because, with Favor House, and a lot of the ladies that come to me, it's after the fact. So I was thinking, well, what can I do different to try to catch people so they don't even have to get there?
Yeah.
So it's preventative teaching, like to go into churches, to go into homeowners associations, to go into schools, hopefully, and just talk to young ladies like I needed to be talked to.
Are there signs of an abuser that one could look for?
Absolutely.
And do you teach that?
I do.
Yeah.
And I'll be the first to say, anytime I walk in a room and I speak to a crowd, I said, by a show of hands, if you've been affected by domestic violence and or know someone, raise your hand. Some hands will go up. And then I said, okay, let's go back. Domestic violence is not just physical. It's mental, it's verbal, it's financial, it's sexual, it's spiritual, it's even social, as far as social media.
Yeah.
I said, so by a show of hands again, how are we looking? And almost all of the room goes up.
And I watch documentaries and stuff. I can't get over the amount of high schoolers and college girls that are already getting on that path. But also, I just can't. There's high school boys and college boys that are already that messed up. But all right, we're going to take a short break and come back with Tara and learn more about what her program does and ways that you can get involved. We'll be right back.
Do you want to create but don't know where to start? Our new fabric line will inspire you. If you can dream it, we can help you make it. From using kits that include everything you would need, to taking classes to create something more personalized, Daryl's is the place for you. No matter if you're just beginning or experienced, Daryl's has you covered. Find us at 6705 North Davis Highway, open 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturdays.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Hi, I'm Madrina. Be a mover and shaker in our community by helping others overcome problems ranging from health to substance abuse, from personal safety to neighborhood issues, from taking care of your kids to taking care of your parents. Come on our show and tell people how you did it. Be a community hero and watch Rolling with Madrina, Thursday nights at 8:30, only on Blab TV.
What do an aerospace engineer, cancer immunologist, and bat scientist all have in common? We all have cool jobs in STEM fields. Whether it's building robots or learning to code, girls everywhere are finding their passion for science, technology, engineering, and math through positive role models and mentors. So dare to dive in, get connected, and explore. You never know what your future may hold. Learn more about these and even more cool jobs at shecanstem.com.
I was busy watching Troy. Welcome back to Rolling with Madrina. I've got my friend Tara here. She's talking about surviving domestic violence and her personal story. that led her to start this nonprofit, transitioning through trauma to triumph. And she gave a little bit of her backstory. But sis, one thing we talked about off camera, you know, because I looked at her and I said, how does this happen? If you don't come from abuse and then you marry, you think's a good man, and a couple years into it, he starts hitting on you. How do you stay? And how did you not want to kill him? You know, and one thing she said is it sneaks up on you. Madrina, it sneaks up on you. Tell us, sis, what'd you say?
It's very subtle when you're dealing with a narcissist, because they'll have you thinking mentally that you're crazy. It's always a reverse psychology, let me flip it on you. And so it kind of snuck up on me, and then because I didn't see anything for the first probably 18, 19 months. And by then—
What have you learned about that? Where are they for that? Are they faking you out? Or how does someone, a good husband for a year and a half, 2 years, and all of a sudden starts beating you? How does that happen?
Oh, it was never a husband.
Oh.
Let's clarify that.
Oh.
I don't know, because that's not me. Like, I'm not a controlling person. I'm not a narcissist, so I really can't say. But in going through a lot of trauma training and a lot of webinars and a lot of classes, I've learned that it all boils back down to something they went through, like you said, in childhood.
Hurting people hurt others.
Hurt people. And so it's some kind of insecurity somewhere to, hey, I can't control you in this manner, so I'm going to control you in this manner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was very subtle at first. And then once we got in, it was just kind of like a fight to keep my peace of mind every day.
Man, I bet your kids were shook.
They were.
I mean, because you said it wasn't always didn't start that way.
No, it didn't start that way.
So then when it started, they were probably
taken
like,
by
whoa,
surprise.
shell-shocked.
And then, you know, it's sad to say they just kind of got used to it. And, you know, I apologized to my kids when we left, and we went to counseling for it. So, you know, like, I just let them know. And that's the big thing with my nonprofit. I want to catch young women and men, because girls and guys think it's cute. Oh, you can't talk to that person. Oh, you shouldn't go with this person, or just kind of hitting you and playing it off and calling you out of your name. And they think that's love. It's not love. And that's how it creeps in. So our biggest thing is—
That's the start of the control.
That's the start of it.
Where you're going to go, what you're going to do, who you're going to do it with, what you're going to wear, what you're going to look like.
Like I said, social media is— domestic violence is also social. Oh, why is that person your friend on social media? Why did you like their picture? And for teenagers, young adults, that's what everybody goes to, social media. So in that training that I do, a lot of trauma training also, because it is PTSD.
PTSD.
It's most definitely PTSD.
Do you feel like you suffer from PTSD?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can be somewhere and somebody starts hollering, and I just kind of— or somebody walks up behind me just to give a hug. And it's just kind of like, it's so many triggers, and it's crazy because I've been out of it almost 12 years, and it's still a trigger, especially if you co-parent. It's still a trigger.
That's tough. I'm sitting here choking back my tears because I don't know that PTSD ever goes away.
Oh, it doesn't.
You know,
I don't think it does. I think you can
learn tools on how to cope and what to do and how to overcome, and you might get that trigger and then you can snap yourself back out of it. But I don't know if those triggers ever go away.
But it doesn't.
I'm
I don't
54
think so.
and mine are not.
I'm
still
46
suffering.
and like I said, I've been out of it 12 years and it's still a trigger. Like looking at my kids is a trigger.
Right, just little things you have to deal with every day. What I say, talking myself off the ledge daily. You know, people always say to me, oh my God, how do you do it all? And you had all this praise. I'm no different than anybody else. I've just learned tools to kind of stuff it back and still be productive. You know. So tell me about the services that people can come to you. We've got our website and our phone number up there on the screen. Who needs you?
Men and women, because it's also men that suffer abuse. I don't come across many, but I have come across some that have been in it. So we're in no shape, form, or fashion just advocating for women. We're advocating for men too. But I think anybody who feels like, hey, I'm on the brink of being in something and I didn't know I was in it, or hey, I'm in it already, how can you help me get out of it? You know, and sometimes people just aren't ready to leave for whatever reason. And again, I think I lost that judgmental piece when I got in it, because I was, oh, you should just leave. It's not that easy, especially if you have children. So pretty much just anybody that needs help beforehand, or just somebody to talk to, and or people who are in it naturally that emergency wise need to leave and stuff like that.
Do you have a brick and mortar location?
No.
You're partnered with a lot of other organizations.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your programs.
Preventative domestic violence training, which is to go into schools, churches, homeowners associations, and just talk to young adults to say, hey, these are the signs, and what you thought was cute is not cute. It's abuse, it's power control, and all that. And one
When you say that, you've said that a couple times now, where she said, oh, they think it's cute.
Yeah.
When you have young love, and especially if you come from a painful background.
Right. And if you don't get it from a parent, especially a dad with women, you know, if you don't get that value from your dad, you're going to look for it in somebody else.
And it could be this wrong somebody else. But they take it flattering, like, oh, well, he don't want me to go out with my girlfriends because he just wants to be with me all the time. No, that's the beginning.
Yeah, the isolation.
Yeah, the isolation.
Narcissistic abusers like to isolate you, so you feel like you don't have anybody else, so it's harder for you to leave because you cut everybody off.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. And I also this year am looking to do some kind of class to talk to parents, because our kids don't open up to us. They open up to other people.
Right.
So you guys should know the signs and make it comfortable for your kids to come to you and say, hey, Mom, this is going on. So that's one thing that's preventative that I want to do, because it's in the households, and a lot of kids just don't talk about it to their parents. They talk about it to other people.
Right.
So that financial assistance with transitional housing. Naturally, we're grassroots, so we can't do major, funding, but we do if it's an emergency and they can't get in a favor house. Maybe we're trying to find more partnerships with hotels, to say, hey, we'll partner with you and give you a discounted rate, as long as you verify that this person is coming from your nonprofit.
And Favor House provides shelter.
Yes, and we're not an undisclosed location, nor do I think I want to be. It's a lot, and I can provide these services and at 5 o'clock still have my life with my children and family. So I do outsource Favor House a lot.
Well, we have organizations in town that offer some of the things that you can refer to. So why not partner with them?
Right. And the mental health assistance, we have Carly Riccio. I always slander people's last names. She's the mental health behavioral director for Health and Hope Clinic. So she's
friend
on
Sally
our
Burgosh's place.
And I special thank you to Sally. She has from day one been supportive of the nonprofit. And I went to talk to her one day actually, and I met Carly. And I'm the type of person, if I need something, I'm like, hey, I need you. And we got together, and she's now on board to provide mental health counseling to the ladies. Advocacy is always around, and community drives. We do 5 community drives. In May, Mother's Day last year, we did it, partnered with Favor House, and we gave them sanitary items, about 400 items, journals, sanitary napkins, stuff like that. Back to school drive, we did in Marino Court. Me and Hassan Hill, Youth Left Behind. Yes, we partner with a lot of stuff. And we gave away about to 200 kids, haircuts, book bags, clothes, food, all that stuff.
Love it.
October, our annual Purple Paint Party fundraiser, and those funds go to our Thanksgiving food drive, where we give away, this year we were able to give away 30 bags of food to Barnerville and Century, to low income, kids, to hold them over for that Thanksgiving break, because they want junk food. They don't want a Thanksgiving meal. So we were able to do that. And then Christmas, we were able to sponsor 5 families for the Christmas drive this year. So slowly but surely, year by year, as we get out there, it's growing, and the support is growing.
That's how you start. So you have a Facebook page?
I do.
What's it called?
Transitioning Through Trauma to Triumph.
Okay, so that you can go there on the Facebook page, and we'll get the phone number and her email up. And so what is it that you need in a perfect world? What if you said, Tara, if money were no object, and you could just wave a magic wand, what does your organization need?
A vehicle, because everything gets done in my car. For Christmas, it was just packed down. So a vehicle, I didn't realize how much I run back and forth for the nonprofit. You know how that goes.
Yes, I do.
So definitely a vehicle.
A vehicle with some insurance and some gasoline cards. Let's just go ahead and aim for the moon.
Yes, naturally money, and I thought when I first started this nonprofit, everything is going to be free. Nonprofit is a business.
No, it's a hustle, baby.
Yes,
Every
it's a
day's a
business.
hustle.
Yes.
I'm working 7, 8 days a week
Yes.
trying to get community stuff done because it's, hey,
Yes.
what you got, can you
Yes.
help, can you help? And
Yes.
it's a lot of work. It's a
Right.
never-ending hustle.
Right, and it's all worth it because again, I was that
But the
person
reward
and
is
I needed
great.
that help. So naturally, money, time, volunteer time, also resources such as in-kind donations. We have a wish list on the website, and I have a surplus closet. So when ladies need things like toiletries, gas cards, combs, deodorant, you know, just the things that I
And where
had
are
to
you
grab
keeping
and
all
go.
that?
I have a surplus closet.
In your
a
house?
storage.
I was like, she needs a storage unit?
Yes, I need a storage unit. And then we have a wish list, like I said, on their promo products. If someone can donate those, like the brochures,
Yeah.
like all that stuff.
Printing.
Yes, printing. Just time and volunteer and expertise. If someone says, hey, I would just want to pour some value into you, I always welcome that because I don't know
Absolutely.
everything.
And that's why I say I'm having you spell all that out here on TV so that people don't know what they don't know.
Right.
And they're not mind readers.
Right.
And we might have a viewer that's watching here tonight that says, wow, I can really relate.
Yes.
I'm so glad I escaped that so many years ago or last month or last year.
Right.
And I want to help back. And you said volunteers. What type of volunteers would you need?
When we do our annual
Events.
events, yeah. Other than that, we pretty much, me and the board handle everything. But when we do the annual events, just volunteers to come out and, you know, just hands-on.
Yeah. And experts, you said if there's any experts in this
we're
field.
looking for legal experts now, just to have on board, you know, in case, because we have a mental health counselor. One of our board members is a correctional officer with the Sheriff's Department.
Mm-hmm.
Cheryl Etheridge is the VP. Thank
Very
goodness, Cheryl.
nice.
Yes, yes. So we have a strong board, but legal, you know, just to have on board if we needed something. Doesn't necessarily have to be a board member. I would love for them to be a board member. But just those services of, hey, legal, health, mental health is always, you know, if somebody wants to donate some of their time, naturally we can use more than one counselor.
Well, thank you for coming here and rolling with
Thank you for
Madrina and
having
bringing
me.
your mission and your information about your organization. If you've watched today and her message touches you and there's some way that you can help in time, talent, or treasure, she's open to visit with you. We've got her information on the screen, and we invite you now to reach out to Tara and help her help others. And thank you for watching Rolling with Madrina. Aloha.
Thank you.